Oh, welcome! Hello! How you doing? We've got a weird update, I guess. Look, we knew that this was going to happen. I've already done a video on Godzilla vs. Kong. It's really bright, isn't it, on my face? God damn. Already done a video on Godzilla vs. Kong being delayed, which I'll leave linked above. But there's obviously been other movies that have been delayed, and they've been delayed by quite a lot. Like a scary amount. But it also makes a lot of sense as to why Godzilla vs. Kong was moved, and you'll see why. I mean, despite all the reasons I had already given, but there's even more reasons as to why it was moved. And this is not a surprise. TENET has only been moved back by like 2 weeks, so it's the end of July. They can't move that back that more, and they obviously would if they could, but they can't because they've already started the marketing, which is why you're probably not going to see the likes of James Bond move that far back past what they'd already done with November. I think it's released in November 26th or 21st. So I get why they're doing it. It's because, of course, the current state of the world is literally on fire. 2020, can it get any worse? Like, oh, Doom guy, come and save us, please. You've got coronavirus, you've got looting, rioters. You're going to have an economy crash, like it's just worst year. But on to good stuff. We're still getting films, we're still getting product, which I'm very happy with. So I understand why they've done it, but we'll break it down and we'll see what has actually moved, right? So this is just on a website, like I'll leave it down below. They've obviously just compiled it. I think initially it was on The Hollywood Reporter, as far as I was aware, but they split it into multiple articles, as they like to do. I just want it in one place, hence why it's here. Before I jump into this, guys, we're actually very close to the last target now for my film, Blackfields. I'm writer, director. It is a high concept horror fantasy film. If you want to donate because you're sick of reboots, remakes, rehashes, and you want to see an attempt at the very least at something original, then check it out. There's a GoFundMe link down below in the description box, and if you donate $5 or more, then you are actually in for a chance of winning an incredible ornamental prop, a weapon, and you can find pictures on the GoFundMe page. Even if you don't want to donate, please go and look at what I am giving away, because I think you'll be really impressed. That, like, I think it's the most badass giveaway ever. So you can find links to that down below. But let's get into this, right? So Warner Brothers is the one that's moving their films around. So they've obviously chosen, because again, we'd already had marketing from Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman has moved. And they've moved it again. So Wonder Woman itself has already been delayed from June 1st to August 14th. And now it gets delayed again to October 2nd. Which, if you're looking at it, Godzilla vs. Kong was going to release November 20th. So they would have ended up eating into one another. Like, a lot, actually. Now, I'm not saying that they're definitely the same audiences, because I don't think that they are. But there's definitely the potential to eat into some of the box office by doing that. And these are all Warner Brothers movies. They're not going to just release them and go, oh, we're just going to shoot ourselves in the foot. Like, why would you do that? And I definitely think there's something to be said here, guys, for the fact that we simply don't know what the state of guidelines are going to be moving forwards. I know what it's looking like for the UK. They're looking to, like, remove seating, have reduced seating, queues, all this kind of nonsense. And I think ultimately this is a good thing, because the likelihood of this causing lobbying by studios and theatres to remove those kind of over hysteria level guidelines can be beneficial. And the reason why I say that, FYI, because I said this before, and someone sarcastically put down, oh, well, why should we listen to the science? We're going to listen to, listen to a YouTuber. The science actually indicates that asymptomatic carriers don't spread it. So, unless you know you have it, which generally speaking you'd probably be, distancing and things like that, everyone else can actually just get back to normal because the science indicates that it's like fine. So latest from the WHO and everyone else. I keep track of this because I want to keep track of the industry itself. So there is the potential that if these things get delayed and then they don't do very well as a result of the extra guidelines, the excessive guidelines that could be in place, it could be positive because it could lead to lobbying to remove them. Because otherwise the industry is going to collapse, guys. Like it's a no-brainer. Like I have to go and do my food shop, right? Like I have to do that. It's otherwise I'm going to die. Like I need food. But what I don't want to do every single time I do that is to queue up and queue up for half an hour outside when it's raining and stuff like this, which is quite literally what we have to do now in the UK, because they're letting like one in, one out, and kind of churning through the shoppers on that kind of level. You're not going to be able to do that for the theatres because the theatres are non-essential. It's a non-essential thing. People are not going to put up with that. They're just going to choose to not go and they'll just watch it at home, which again could very well lead to the death of movie theatres, which is not what I want, which again can put pressure on governments to remove excessive guidelines. And I say excessive because like ultimately if you go into a theatre, like anytime you go to a theatre you take your health into your own hands anyway, because germs haven't just popped up, they've always been here. Like people always have germs, like you can always catch something. Anyway, I know I'm going to get flack for that, I'm aware, but I still think this is good. Now Christopher Nolan's Tenet was moved from July 17th to July 31st. Now like I say, they can't delay that much because again they've already started the marketing. I believe they've released 2 trailers now plus another teaser, so there's no way they could have delayed it anymore. And I do think that Tenet will be the example which leads us to know the state of the landscape post-coronavirus. I firmly believe that. I've said it on a previous video. I think I said it on the Godzilla vs. Kong one. I think that's make or break, and I think that will lead to lobbying. Now Wonder Woman 1984, starring Gal Gadot, has already been delayed from June 1st to August 14th, now releases October 2nd, which again would have eaten into Godzilla vs. Kong box office. Again, we're suffering a massive economic crash. People's spare cash is like few and far between. It makes sense to start to spread them out quite a lot, which is, again, if you look at it, right, July 31st, Tenet to October. So now it's not July, November, like they're leaving quite a huge gap there. July to October. Now Godzilla vs. Kong has moved from November straight to May next year. Best place for it. There's nothing opening up against it. You got to remember November would have had Black Widow as well as James Bond. Quite a lot was going to be up against Godzilla vs. Kong, and I still think you'll see studios move some other bits and pieces around as well. Warner Brothers just seems to be the first one to do it. I would imagine, and I highly anticipate, a lot more studios to do this. Now, The Matrix 4, this is the biggest surprise. They've delayed it to April 1st, 2022. They don't even need to do that, because they're getting back to filming soon, I think. Off the top of my head, that's what reports are indicating. So I don't know why they're doing this. There seems to be no rhyme or reason for it. Now, obviously it says, regarding the shift in release dates, the moves are due to the coronavirus shutting down movie theatres across the globe. Deadline offered a specific reason for the delay is that theatres in New York City haven't yet reopened, along with other offshore territories. Nowhere's open. Like the UK, nothing like that's open. We can't even get, like, the reason why I went bold recently was because I couldn't get a haircut. It's, well, I'm going all caveman, Viking-esque. There's literally nothing in the UK which is open. Can't go, like, it's all keep your distance. It's madness. I'm hoping it'll start to open up and get back to normal soon. But yeah, so that's why nothing is open. And I will be intrigued to see whether they start to open things up now with respect to theatres. And I'm going to keep you appraised, of the process, especially in the UK. Now, Warner Brothers will also be re-releasing Christopher Nolan's Interstellar on Tenet's original July 17th, 2020 release. That's an interesting one. Why are they doing that? Super odd. Maybe there's some ties to it. I that's probably just going to stoke the flames that Interstellar is part of, Tenet in some way. Orion Pictures has also announced that with Wonder Woman 1984 leaving the August 14th, 2020 release date, that Bill and Ted Face the Music will be released a week earlier on August 14th. So that's good. They would have made that for no money though, so a lot of that's just going to be profit anyway. But it's a sad time that we live in. It's a shame. But I think it makes a lot of sense. But I'll hand on over to you. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comment section. If you're new here, please do hit subscribe. Please do stay up to date on the world of pop culture movie news by hitting the bell notification icon. Guys, actually check that you're subscribed. There's a lot of people, I think there's about 50% of you that watch my content that are not subscribed. And just turn the bell notification on to all, not personalised, because YouTube then curates content for you. I've spoken to them recently about why this happens. Apparently, just I guess a bit of a PSA, apparently this happens if they send notifications and you choose not to click through to them, basically. If they do that persistently, they will end up, even though you're subscribed, it tells them that you don't want to watch the channel, which is very odd, but never mind. Thank you all so much. Take care.